Have you ever noticed the voice in your head? Not the one you speak with, but the one that speaks to you. Maybe it tells you you're not good enough. Maybe it whispers you'll never succeed. Maybe every morning when you look in the mirror, it reminds you of every mistake, every failure, every reason why you should give up. And maybe you've started to believe it. If your own thoughts have become your worst enemy, if your words about yourself are filled with doubt and defeat, then this story will show you something powerful. Because once, there was a man who spoke death over his life every day, until he discovered that his words weren't just sounds. They were seeds. And what he planted with his tongue determined everything that grew in his world. Stay with me until the end. In a small town where everyone knew each other's names, there lived a man named Daniel. He was 32 years old, worked as a delivery driver, and lived alone in a small apartment on the edge of town. To his neighbors, Daniel seemed normal, quiet, hardworking, polite. But if you listened closely to his words, you would hear something disturbing. When his alarm rang each morning, Daniel would groan. Another terrible day. When he looked in the mirror, he muttered, "You look awful. You're getting old at work." When given a new route, he'd sigh, "This is going to be a disaster. I'll probably mess it up." When friends invited him out, he declined, saying, "Nothing good ever happens to me anyway. Why bother?" Daniel didn't realize he was doing this. The negative words had become so automatic, so constant, that he no longer heard them. They were like breathing, unconscious, habitual, invisible. But they were destroying him. His coworkers noticed. He always expected the worst and often got it. His few friends slowly stopped calling, because every conversation drained their energy. His landlord mentioned he always looked tired, defeated, older than his age. One evening, Daniel's younger brother visited. After an hour of listening to Daniel complain about his job, his life, his future, the brother finally said, "Daniel, do you hear yourself? Every word out of your mouth is negative. You curse your own life with your own tongue. If you keep speaking death, don't be surprised when life feels dead." Daniel laughed bitterly. "I'm just being realistic. This is who I am." His brother shook his head sadly. "No, this is who you've told yourself you are. There's a difference." After his brother left, Daniel sat in the dark, those words echoing, "You curse your own life with your own tongue." For the first time, he started paying attention to his thoughts, and what he heard terrified him. A constant stream of poison. "I'm worthless. Nothing works out. I'm unlucky. I'm not smart. People don't like me. I'll always be alone. I'm a failure." He realized his brother was right. For years, he had been watering seeds of defeat, and now his life was a garden of exactly what he had planted. The breaking point came 3 weeks later. Daniel was making his last delivery of the day when his van broke down on a lonely road. Rain poured no cell signal. The package was time sensitive, and he knew he'd be blamed for being late. He sat in the van, rain drumming on the roof, and felt something inside him crack. "Of course this happened," he said aloud. "Nothing ever goes right for me. I'm cursed. My life is a joke." But then, in the silence after those words, he heard them differently. Not as truth as a spell he kept casting on himself. What if, he whispered, what if I've been cursing myself this whole time? What if my words aren't describing my life? They're creating it. The thought shook him. He remembered something his grandmother used to say. When he was a child, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Speak carefully, my boy. Words have weight. He had dismissed it as old superstition. But sitting in that broken van, drenched in rain and defeat, he wondered what if she was right. A truck driver stopped, offered help, got his van running. But during that hour of waiting, Daniel made a decision that would change everything. I'm going to try something different. For 30 days, I'm going to pay attention to every word I speak about myself and my life. And I'm going to change them. It sounded impossible. The negative voice was so loud, so constant. But he had to try, because continuing to curse himself was no longer an option. The next morning, Daniel went to the community garden near his apartment. He had never gardened before, but something drew him there. An elderly man named Mr. Chen tended a beautiful plot. Vegetables thriving, flowers blooming in every color. Daniel's plot, which he'd abandoned months ago, was overgrown with weeds. "Excuse me," Daniel said. "How do you make things grow like this?" Mr. Chen smiled, his weathered face warm. "I plant good seeds, I water them. I pull the weeds simple." Daniel looked at his overgrown plot. "I tried once, nothing worked." "Show me," Mr. Chen said. Daniel pointed to the tangled mess. "See, I'm terrible at this. I kill everything I touch." Mr. Chen knelt down, picked up a handful of soil, and let it fall through his fingers. "Listen to what you just said. I'm terrible, I kill everything. These are seeds too. Word seeds. And you just planted them in your life." Daniel frowned. "It's just words." "No," Mr. Chen said gently. "Words are never just words. Let me show you something." He led Daniel to 2 identical pots with young plants. "I planted these the same day. Same soil, same water, same sunlight. Watch. Over the next 2 weeks." Mr. Chen asked Daniel to do an experiment. Every morning, Daniel would speak to one plant. "You're growing strong. You're healthy. You're beautiful. I'm grateful for you." To the other plant he would say, "You're probably going to die. You look weak. This won't work." Daniel thought it was crazy, but he did it. After 14 days, the difference was visible. The plant spoken to with positive words grew fuller, greener, more vibrant. The other plant, despite receiving identical physical care, looked stunted, pale. How Daniel whispered. Mr. Chen smiled. Science calls it vibration. Spirit calls it blessing and curse. I call it simple truth. Words carry power. They shape reality more than we know. Your thoughts are silent words, Daniel, and your words are thoughts given voice. For 32 years, you've been speaking curses over yourself. Speaking death, speaking defeat. Is it any wonder? Your life reflects exactly what you've been declaring. Daniel felt tears form. But the negative thoughts come automatically. I don't know how to stop them. You don't stop them, Mr. Chen said. You replace them every time you catch yourself thinking or speaking something negative. You pause. You breathe and you speak the opposite. He handed Daniel a small notebook. For the next 30 days, write down every negative thought about yourself. Then beside it, write the truth you want to plant instead. And speak it out loud, even if you don't believe it yet. Speak it like you're watering a seed that hasn't sprouted, because that's exactly what you're doing. Day 1 was brutal. Daniel caught himself speaking negatively 47 times in one day. He cursed his own life without realizing it. This is going to be terrible. Became I'm open to good outcomes. I'm so stupid. Became I'm learning and growing. Nothing ever works for me. Became good things are coming my way. At first, the positive words felt fake, hollow like lying. But Mr. Chen had warned him. The garden doesn't ask if you believe. The seed will grow, it grows. Because that's what seeds do, when planted in good soil and watered consistently. Day 7. Daniel noticed something strange. A difficult customer who usually frustrated him actually smiled when he delivered a package. A small thing, but different. Day 14, his brother called, shocked. You sound different. What happened? Day 21 at work, his supervisor pulled him aside. Daniel, I don't know what's going on, but your whole energy has changed. Keep it up. But the biggest changes were happening inside. The constant mental chatter of defeat grew quieter. Not gone, but quieter. And when it arose, Daniel no longer believed it automatically. He paused, breathed, chose a different thought. I'm not good enough. Pause. I am growing every day. This will fail. Pause. I'm willing to try and see what happens. On day 26, Daniel's van broke down again. The old him would have erupted in curses and complaints. Instead, he sat for a moment, breathed and said aloud, "This is inconvenient, but I'll handle it. Help is coming. Everything works out for my good." 20 minutes later, the same truck driver from before appeared laughing. You again must be fate. They got the van running. But more importantly, Daniel felt something shift inside. A knowing that he was no longer enslaved to automatic negative reactions. Day 30 arrived. Daniel returned to the community garden, his abandoned plot, which he'd started tending alongside his words. was beginning to show life. Small sprouts pushing through soil. Mr. Chen stood beside him smiling. "Your garden looks better." "Yes," Daniel said. Then added quietly, "My life looks better too." "Same soil," Mr. Chen said, "different seeds." 3 months later, Daniel barely recognized his own life. Not because everything was perfect. Challenges still came. But his relationship with those challenges had transformed completely. He had been promoted at work, not because he suddenly became more skilled, but because his new energy drew opportunities he would have missed before. Old friends reconnected, saying, "You're different now, lighter." His brother visited and said, "I'm proud of you, you broke the curse." Daniel found Mr. Chen at the garden one morning. "Thank you," he said. "You showed me that I was poisoning my own well, and then wondering why I was thirsty." Mr. Chen placed a hand on Daniel's shoulder. "I showed you nothing, the truth was always there. I just helped you see it. Your words were always powerful. You just didn't know. You could choose which power to use. The power to curse or the power to bless." My friend, Daniel's story is your story. Right now, this moment, there is a voice in your head. And that voice is either building your future or destroying it. Here's what you must understand. Your subconscious mind doesn't judge whether your words are true or false. It simply accepts what you repeat and begins to create evidence to match those words. When you say, "I always fail," your mind looks for proof of failure. When you say, "I'm blessed," your mind looks for proof of blessing. So here's what I'm asking you to do. First, for the next 7 days, just listen. Catch yourself thinking and speaking negatively. Don't judge it, just notice. You'll be shocked how often you curse your own life. Second, get a notebook. Every time you catch a negative thought or word, write down the opposite truth. Not fantasy, just the opposite perspective. "I'm a failure, I'm learning and growing." "Nothing works for me, I'm open to good outcomes." "I'm unlucky, good things come to me." Third, speak these new words out loud every morning. Every night, when negative thoughts arise, speak them, even if you don't believe them yet. You're planting seeds. Don't ask for belief, only consistent watering. This is not about denying reality or pretending problems don't exist. This is about refusing to add your own voice to the voices already against you. This is about becoming the gardener of your own mind. You've spent years, maybe decades, speaking death. 30 days of speaking life won't erase that immediately, but it will begin the transformation. And once you experience even a small shift, you'll understand. Your words don't just describe your world, they create it. If this message touched something in you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because every person fighting negative thoughts needs to know the voice in your head can be changed. Drop a comment with one negative thought you're ready to replace. Let's support each other in this garden work. Until next time, remember, death and life are in the power of your tongue. Choose life. Speak life and watch your world transform.